We are finally in the middle of March, and so we're easily 6 weeks away from the last frost date here, so which means it's pretty much time, not too early anyhow, to start thinking about sowing tomato seeds. I've so been looking forward to this time. I always like to grow ones that we really enjoy eating, and these are some of the few ones I could find in the supermarket. At the moment, there's like a shortage of tomatoes here in England, so I managed to find these two. They were in a mixed packet, and they just look wonderful. I love growing cherry tomatoes because they just ripen faster, and you're sure to get some red ones. Even last year I had them growing outside in grow bags, and they also ripened out there, whereas in the past I've grown larger ones and they just never got ripe, which is okay because you can actually make wonderful green tomato ketchup. I love making that for my family. My children love it. But I do love having red tomatoes straight from the vine. There's nothing like a sun-warmed, vine-ripened tomato, which is so good. So I'm going to just chop these guys up and get sowing. This is like the easiest and the cheapest way, I think, to grow tomatoes. So just cut them up, pick up a piece, and squeeze the seeds into the soil. The seeds are so amazingly made, these tomato seeds, in that they are coated in this really sticky substance that just allows them to stick to the soil. So they're sure to sit there and germinate. Really great. So those are the red cherry tomatoes. They're going to have the little thing. I'm just going to cover them up, just spread them out and cover them up with a very, very light dusting of soil. And then just keep them in a really warm position, lots of sun on them. And keep them moist as well, and hopefully soon we'll have some beautiful little tomato plants. And I'll do the same with the yellow ones. So now they're all covered up, lots of little seeds in there, and as soon as they start shooting, sprouting, and actually get to their first set of true leaves, I'll start transplanting them into their own little pots. I've just done the same with the cucamelons. I sowed these back on the 15th of February, and right now we're on the 14th of March, and as you can see, they only have their little cotyledons, their first little set of leaves. They haven't even got the first set. Actually, if you look at some of these guys, they're just starting to shoot out their first little set of true leaves, but I just felt they were just sort of sitting there not doing anything, and so I thought I'd get them into their own pots and get them all in the sun, because the windowsill they were on was not that warm. So I'm hoping to get some growth going on these guys, but they are really slow. That's why I started the cucamelons so much earlier than the tomatoes. So hopefully we'll have some cucumbers and tomatoes soon. I love growing these little cucamelons because they're just like little bite-sized, really wonderful flavored cucumbers. They taste a bit like cucumbers with a hint of lime. Really, really tasty. And they're just so easy to grow as compared to regular cucumbers as well. They don't get moldy, powdery mildew, all those kind of things or pests or diseases that cucumbers can suffer from, especially in like a wetter climate like we have here in England. And they're just really, really flavorsome too, so I really do like them. So I've got them all potted up nicely. As I said, I transplanted them into their own little containers much earlier than I usually would, but it seemed the right thing to do. And so as soon as my little tomatoes get going, we'll get them all potted up too. So wonderful to finally get started on this growing season.